Hello all and welcome to my channel Infosec Geeks. This is Asad Ahmed and today video is about SQL injection, hacking website database. So before starting this video, let's have a look on SQL injection. So SQL injection is a web vulnerability caused by mistakes made by programmers. It allows an attacker to send commands to the database that the website or web application communicates with. This in turn lets the attacker get data from the database or even modify it. So let's start our video. So I'm going to test this website for this tutorial. Name indiapharmaexpo.in. Let's open it. It's again copied, opening it. So this is our target website. Department of Pharmaceuticals, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, Government of India. So now first thing first, what I am going to do here is I have to find our dynamic link through which we can insert my SQL queries to perform this SQL injection. So let's find out the links. Let's check out the source. I'm going to press Ctrl F and find this PHP. There are a lot of .php I guess links, but not that type of link which I'm looking. It would be like question mark id equals, right? But I guess there is no such type of link, the dynamic link. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going on Google and using this Google Doc to find that type of link, if there is any, so I can proceed my SQL injection, right? Yes, we got a link. So open it. This type of link is used to perform SQL injection normally. So first step is after finding this link, I'm going to put a single quote at the end of this URI apostrophe. That is, I'm going to put a single quote. Let me refresh it. Yes, we have an SQL error. Now the next step is SQL error. We just found SQL error. Next step is let's check if this website is 100% vulnerable to SQL injection. So I'm going to again put a single quote or apostrophe at this URL. If the page is displaying normally as it was, then there is 100% chance of SQL injection. Yes, it is fixed. As you can see here, the page is displaying normally, right? The next step is let's continue the testing process, and now we are going to identify the total number of columns in the database of this website. So we are using order by method to find number of columns. So but before proceeding, let's go back one time. Now I'm going to put order by and done. Entering. No. We are still seeing this error and no other information is shown. So let me fix it first. I'm using SQL command like this, hyphen space hyphen, entering it, and now the page is fixed. The error is fixed, and we know number of column is 1. Let's check further if this site has more columns. So I'm going to start from here, 100. I'm going to put 100 columns to check if this site has 100 columns. No, the site says that there are no 100 columns. Now again I'm going to check again by putting 75. If there are 75 columns, nope. Now again I'm putting 60. Check if there are 60. It says no. Again now check if there are 51 columns. Notes. Actually what I'm doing here is I'm trying to check the number of columns, how many columns this website has. So till now I found no columns. Let's go further. Now I'm going to put 40. Check if the site has number 40 columns. Yes, it has 40 columns, right? Great. Now moving further with 30 columns. It says, yes, I have 30 columns. Now again, I'm going back and testing column number 50, if it exists or not. Yes, it exists. So website displaying normally when I put 50. Testing if number of columns are 51. Going to test it. There are further more columns. Nope. So it means the total number of columns are 50 in this website. Now what I'm going to do here is, yes, now I'm going to use union select method to find vulnerable columns, using which we use to ask or query the database to provide us information, right? Because they are 50 columns and will take time to type, I'm going to put here already typed query. Let me show you. Union select number of columns 1 2 3 4 till 50 and our comment. Now I'm going to hit enter. So did you notice any change in this page? I guess there isn't, except the one, if you have noticed very closely, this one. Let's check it. So we found a vulnerable column. It was number 2. Now let's ask the database to provide its version details. So what I am going to do here, as we found a vulnerable column which is echoing back, that is column number 2, I'm going to replace it with that payload or our query to see the version details of this database, right? Hitting enter. See that too. Yes, and we found the version detail, that is 5.7.33. this is PHP version 5.7.33, right? So next step is, let's ask the database to provide its database name, right? So we are going to replace column number 2 with this payload or query. to ask database about its name, database name. Rolling V, and yes, we found the name of the database, the backend database India Pharma underscore XTWI23U, right? We are querying the database and database is processing our queries because backend database is not properly sanitized. Now we can see the running database name is India Pharma, as you see. Now let's ask the database to provide its database username details. Let's find out the username of this database, India Pharma. Let's check. Replacing again the vulnerable column, that is number 2, with payload, user bracket, small brackets and bracket close, entering. Yes, we got India Pharma underscore XEOP129 at localhost. We got the username of this database. So next step is interesting. Let's print out our name in this vulnerable column. So we have created our name using HTML tags here, right? I'm copying it, pasting it directly here. Yes, we got error, right? Because these HTML tags cannot execute it directly within this column. So what I am going to do here, I'm going to use this website because we need to convert our HTML tags into hex because we cannot execute it directly, right? So I'm going to visit this website. Now copying this here. This is our text and we are going to convert it into hex. Convert, right? Now our HTML name written in HTML tags is converted to hexadecimal. So what I'm going to do here is going back and replacing column number 2 with it. Again we found error. Why? Because we forgot something. Yes, after hex conversion we have to add 0x at the beginning of our converted hex value. Like this, 0x. This is our conversion output from that website and I added 0x at the beginning of this hex. I'm going to copy it, copying it, and now I'm going to paste it here. Control V. Yes, now you can see our name is printed on this page, right, in the vulnerable column. Moving further, now let's ask the database to show us all the table names. So let's move further and dump the entire tables. For this purpose, we need a DIOS query. DIOS, that is dump in one shot. It means that we are giving or putting single query which contains multiple queries, and it will execute at one time. Let's do it. Let's copy the table name, table DIOS. Putting back, replacing column number 2 with that DIOS, and now we can see the entire table list of this database, of this website's database. As you can clearly see that there are lots of tables here, but normally attacker or hacker interested in these type of tables. It might be something else like admin, user, members, but here we found user, so I'm interested in users table, right? Going back here, now let's ask the database to show us all column names, right? So let's move further and dump the entire columns. For this purpose, we need a DIOS dump in one shot query. Again, this DIOS is basically column DIOS. We are now going to retrieve all the columns of this website. So what we have to do before moving further, we are required to convert our table from text to hexadecimal. So in our case, it would be users. As I told you, we were interested in table named users, and now let's convert it manually. Let me show you how I convert it. Users, right? Converting. Okay, and putting 0x again because it is hex, so we have to put 0x so it can execute easily. The same website just I have demonstrated to convert our text to hexadecimal conversion. Now we have to edit our DIOS from here like this. Let me show you. This is our column DIOS, right? As you can see here. Now what I am going to do here is I have changed this portion. I have converted users to hexadecimal and then put it here, and now I'm going to copy this entire query, column dios, copying it, and now going to paste in our vulnerable column. And yes, we got columns of table name users. So we have registration ID, we have username, we have password 1, password 2, role, first name, last name, status, send count, login time, last IP, date. So what I am interested in, I am in column username and password 1. I am interested in these two columns, username and password 1. Going back, let's open our tutorial. So final dios for dumping data from our desired table columns. So in our case, the table is users and its columns are username and password. As I just told you that I am interested to dump column username and password 1. I want to see what data these columns contain. So in this data dump dios, you can see that here we have inserted database name which we found before. Let me show you. This is our database name, right? We have to copy it, paste it here, and here we have to put column names, username and password 1, right? So I'm going to copy this query, opening it, copied, and yes, we found username and passwords, but as you can see, they are mixed up. They are mixed up and not very clear to view, right? So in this type of situation, we use delimiters. So adding a delimiter to separate the column results for better understanding, right? So add apostrophe colon apostrophe as a delimiter between username and password 1 column, like this, right? And this is final dios. Data dios, we are going back, now pasting in column number 2, entering yes, and now you can see username and passwords separately, so we can differentiate them easily, right? They are basically passwords are hashes. They are hashed. I guess they are MD5 hash. I'm not going to decrypt these hashes. So finally we can see username and password of every registered users. Okay. So that's all for this video. I hope you like this video.